Salutations, Raptors fans. The boys did it. They ended their 9-game losing streak with a win over the Atlanta Hawks. Just the second road win of the year for the Toronto Raptors. This is Raptors Today, joined by a monochromatic Sherman Hamilton and Canada's very own Warren A. Smith. Get into it, boys. First and foremost, big road win. Couple of things we want to address, but first off, you got to talk about end-of-game scenario. And a lot of people have been talking about Scottie, this turnaround jumper, the mid-range game. It came down to his mid-range, Warren. Talk to me about end-of-game execution for this Raptors team. And Jakob hitting some big free throws.
I mean, listen, I think the Raptors in this one, they won the game ugly. It wasn't pretty. I think they started off really well. And if you go back, you look at Atlanta against Toronto here in Toronto, the first quarter score was the exact same. It was 35-25 in favor of Atlanta. And this time it was 35-25 in favor of Toronto. So
they played with a lead most of the first half.
They played with a lead. Digit. And then Atlanta was able to come back. But I'm a big proponent of the mid-range. I love the mid-range. I think that's what's one of the hardest shots to guard. It's very hard for someone to slide laterally.
Especially for 6'9" with
exactly.
a 7'1" wingspan.
Exactly. And I think it's for Scottie, it's the perfect combination of him being able to shoot a three and get to the rim. You don't really know what he's going to do. And in this situation, it worked out for him. In other game situations, we've seen where it maybe hasn't, and in terms of maybe,
but he has to keep doing it.
But
he's
at times,
the guy. He
has settled. Yeah, I think we can all agree with that. And instead of being a bit more forceful to the rim, but I think he was very efficient in this game. And when it mattered, he delivered.
In an ugly one, Sherm.
Yeah, and win is a win is a win. Exactly. It's hard to win in this league, and if you're the Raptors, you haven't had a lot of them. So getting a W, but
4 or 5.
No, listen. At the end of the day, you think about how they played with the lead, as you guys mentioned, but got later in the game, they gave up that lead. Now you have to find a way to get it back on someone's home court. They did that and were able to come out with a road win. There's a lot of positives here. They shot the ball extremely well. They forced 15 turnovers, but they scored more than double that off of those turnovers. They turned the ball over quite a bit, and despite their mistakes, they were able to come out with a win. And to me, that's where growth is. You talked about it, Warren. Winning isn't always pretty in the process, but the result is always great when you win.
And let's talk about, again, we talked about this a bit. I'm not sure if Warren was here, but Chris Boucher is a revelation. I don't know if his agent's been in his ear. I don't know what's going on, but let's give him some love because, again, a decision has to be made on Chris Boucher at the end of the year, but he is doing everything in his power, both before playing well and how he was managing the situation of not being called on nightly. Like, that was one of the biggest areas of growth we saw with him. But now he's mastered this, answer when you call, Sherm.
Yeah, and I've said this many times. He's gotten better. You can see that he's put some work in the offseason.
And it's late in the career.
Yeah.
You rarely ever see that jump.
Well, late is relative. I mean, sometimes we look at younger players and say they have all this room to grow. But when a player is considered older,
we cap.
Well, mentally, you're more there. Experience-wise, you've had a lot to feed off of.
It's like a 4-year player.
Right, and then you figure, okay, this is as I continue to grow in this game, these are the things I need to stay away from, and these are the things I can continue to do at a high level. And I think Chris Boucher, to your point, the professionalism, the ability to stay ready and to be, accountable for his play when he's called upon, it's phenomenal. But when you add the production, that's where the skill work comes in. That's where he's worked on his handle. He's worked on his decision-making. He's worked on his ability to pass the ball. And that's where I really tip my hat to Chris Boucher.
You know what I liked on that? He was 7 of 10 from the field and only 2 of 4 from 3. It's a very balanced shot chart for him because that means he's getting inside, getting a couple rebounds and tip-ins.
18 minutes as well. I mean,
that's super impressive.
I've been watching Chris Boucher since he played in the G League where he was the guy, and I've seen him reduce his role a little bit on the Raptors team and still be a professional, still be a consummate pro and always ready to go. So, I mean, you got to give your credit to him staying mentally engaged. And he's been doing this for years. I mean, he's the longest tenured Raptor, and he's been constantly the one that's, regardless of whatever's going on, he gets gets put in different situations. He plays 20 minutes, he plays 4, and it's the same. He's trying to go out there and produce.
It's funny how when people talk about the Raptors' history of player development, we always go to Fred VanVleet, Norm Powell.
And we skip over Chris.
Pascal.
Yeah.
But you forget that Chris's entire career is a product of the player development, the investment, along with the Golden State Warriors and a couple of teams. But, like, Raptors have put a lot into this guy. Now, quickly before we head to the second block, I want to talk about the fact that just like a week ago, the fan base was in shambles. Literally, the fan base was in shambles. I was watching videos online. People were like, the tank has gone too far, blah, 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 blah. Winners of 4 or 5. Warren, I'll start with you. What, if anything, has changed in your perception of this team's development in these last 5 games?
Momentum. I'll start with that. I think Toronto has built momentum by getting a bit healthier. Yep. Getting Bruce Brown.
Still
and then
waiting for IQ. Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
Waiting for IQ, but they have 2 different lineups that can contribute, and they do different things. When Kelly comes in the game, he can actually spread the floor a bit more, where Pirtle's more, interior based, and then you got Shed, who can actually just be a point guard and facilitate to people. You got Davion Mitchell, who picks up full court. So
off night.
I think the defensive intensity is there. And I think the offensive consistency is there in the last 4 games. I mean, these Raptors are shooting over 50% in most of these games from 3 and from 2. So, if you're shooting the ball well and you can defend as they are, you're going to build leads. And I think what they're doing to teams now is, especially yesterday, they jumped on Atlanta early, whereas they've been the ones always receiving the first punch.
Last home game, they took a punch in the nose.
They definitely did, and then they have to fight uphill, and it's crazy. I've never seen it. Well, I have seen it, but I haven't seen it in a while where they were down to almost 20 and came back and won by 20.
Yeah, they say it all the time. The best ability is availability. You can throw durability in there too.
Yeah.
And right now, what we're seeing is the results of Darko having the majority of his roster. Missing IQ, but you've got RJ playing consistently. You got Scottie playing consistently. You have Bruce Brown playing consistently. You have, have
props. What do you have,
Grady
18?
Dick. Yeah, you have all these guys that are there now.
In 20 minutes.
So now we
Great
get to see the gradual building process on both sides of the basketball. We haven't had a chance to see that all season long because of the injuries. So it's no surprise to me that we're seeing a better brand and a better consistent way of playing. Mistakes are there.
Yep.
But they're consistently getting better, and that's why the wins are piling up.
And
Quickly, Jake's giving us the signal.
I think now they have real value if they do decide to make assets because
Everyone's playing well.
Trade because everyone's playing well.
Yeah.
So if they do, they can really get better. But we'll see what they do. I'm interested to see it.
Check with the guys. We'll be back.
Scottie, what did you like about the way that you guys started the game and then maybe close it out in the last 2 minutes of the game?
We started off the game really well. We was ball pressuring, getting stops, getting some steals. These guys were chatting, my bad. But, at the end of the game, we did what was necessary to get stops. We just guarded. We helped the helper. We didn't let it. Trae Young is dangerous in those last possessions. So, we just try to stop that from happening, put a bigger guy on him, just be able to take away the shot. Sometimes we hit. And then it was just keep helping each other out from at that point. And I think we did a great job of that, getting stops, contested shot amendment, and finishing the possession from the rebound.
Where do you feel like the lapse kind of in that third quarter happened and kind of carried into the fourth, but you guys were able to get yourself out of it? But where was that lapse originally?
We always talk about turning the ball over. Once we start turning the ball over, they get transition points. There was some blow-bys that happened, and, we just got to take pride in guarding on defense. And that wasn't there. We know we got some people got to be better at it, and we got to take that as a team and go next game and wear that on our chest. Be proud to be able to guard out there every single day and do better.
Tell me about your mindset in the fourth quarter when the team was starting to lose momentum.
I was just fortunate enough to be in those situations. He called some plays for me to be able to get downhill, make a play, create. And things was going. The pull-up 3, it was a big shot. Gotta have some to take that shot, and I was just happy it went in. And other than that, we was just doing the play calls, being able to get downhill. and making plays from there.
Like how much of a factor is the consistency of like the health of your team been in the wins that you guys have won?
We all know how to play with each other, and we know each other's play styles. We've been working a lot of this chemistry thing, and every single day we show up. We know we're taking it as a process of trying to get better each and every single day. We know how we want to run our offense and how we want to get everybody involved, and once everyone buys into that, it just helps out so much.
What's gone into you recently? You've been scoring a lot more as well. I know, you mentioned at practice that like your role can kind of change here or there, but it seems like you're pretty involved lately offensively.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been touching the ball a lot. Coaches and my teammates are believing me to make plays, make the right play. And I've just been super aggressive trying to get to my spots and really just show that I'm healthy.
Defensively, where do you feel like the lapse was that was causing all the transition points? And obviously Dyson Daniels was also a problem for you guys.
Dyson Daniels was great in transition today, but it was just off our turnovers. He got me a few times in transition. I was looking for the screen, or half court, I was looking for the screen in transition. He was going left. I got to know he wants to go left, so we all got to be better on that end.
What's the process of like trusting your knee again after sort of going through the procedure? And it seems like you're back to your old self.
For me, it was getting out there and in certain situations landing on it, but not thinking about it. And then after the fact, I remember one play in Boston, I went off 2 feet, missed a layup over Luke Cornett, and I didn't even care about the missed layup. I just thought, damn, I went off 2 feet for like the first time without thinking about it. So I think those plays has helped me progress, and each day I'm getting more and more confident.
Hey, it's JYD. Thanks for watching the Raptors YouTube channel. Check out our latest videos and subscribe for more.
Taken away by the Raps on the run. Finch to JYD. Beautiful pass. Chuck, one of the things I'm noticing about this start.